Let's go back to Leanne Cusack and Steve Barkhouse.
Sorry, Mike. Steve's just helping me fix the ceiling here. Oh.
And that's the thing. It's really funny because all of the handy people come out of the woodwork, so to speak, when Steve's in studio. And Steve is going to share some trim techniques, some styles, and some cost comparison. This will really catch your attention because everyone would think that you were a guy who was all about the real wood.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? And I love real wood, don't get me wrong, but we're going to walk across. I thought I'd start with the styles because some people think that trim is very ornate and it's traditional or classic, and it doesn't have to be. So we're going to walk across the spectrum of styles here.
So from real wood to PD or MDF.
MDF at the end, yeah, and any of these can come in MDF, any style. So we're starting out with, this one's called the Toronto. And it's kind of a nice classic finish, a step up from the builder grade. You can see the details in the wood. Has a nice look to it, kind of a colonial look, if you will. We'll then go to the hopper, which is got sharper lines, so not the rounded edges. Some people don't like the rounded, they think it's classical. We've got the hopper here that looks quite nice, and again, everything comes in a different size, so depending on the project or the style of your home.
So if you were doing trim around the door, you'd use something like this. If you're using a baseboard, you'd use the same style.
Yeah, see, you want to be in the same family, absolutely, throughout the house. And again, you can adjust it throughout the house in different rooms. If you have a dining room that you want dramatic, you'd have bigger baseboards and bigger casings, whereas if you go into the kitchen, they'd be smaller, but in the same line, the family of trims.
So then the hopper.
Yeah, a little more traditional. This one's starting to become a little bit more contemporary. This one's, we call it contemporary or Zen, kind of a Zen feel to it. A little more plain, the direction people are going to now, a bit more of a trend these days, and a nice looking product. The thicker the material, the richer it looks, and we'll show you some tricks on how to cheat that as well.
Good.
Because it's also more expensive the thicker it is. It's a bigger piece of wood. Moving on, this one is called the glebe. Again, very, very clean lines. You wouldn't really see this in a glebe home, so I'm not sure why we call it the glebe. I find it very contemporary. And then right at the end, something I call maybe Scandinavian or almost, well, Scandinavian, I guess, but very clean, very contemporary.
You call it Scandinavian.
Modern.
I'm calling it affordable. And this is the MDF, which you really like.
Yeah, half the price of a solid wood product. If you look at it, it can come in any of these profiles, right? So it'll look the same, and you can't tell the difference just looking at it. And people complain that it's not as durable. And so I brought my keys along just to show you that a solid wood, if you give that a shot, you can see how that just sinks right in and it's damaged. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about here. Whereas the MDF, same shot, it's really not making America tall.
Okay, that was really good demonstration.
Fun, eh?
Let's hold that. Let's put them next to each other so you can do it again.
Yeah, so you got the wood and the MDF. And it's really no marketing tool. So I love MDF. If you have corners, difficult areas, you just soak it in water a little bit, bend it around. It's lovely to work with.
But soaking it in water and bending it around leads you to the one place or the two places in your home you should not use it, and you suggest bathrooms
kitchen and bathroom.
kitchens.
Yeah, where there's water, obviously, because it does, when it gets wet, it will expand, whereas the wood does not. The good thing about MDF, no knots are going to bleed through, right? And it's much more stable. A little bit harder on your saw blades, but not that bad if you're doing one room. So yeah, those are the different styles. So there's a style for everyone. There are thousands of profiles. I just brought a range here today.
And have you seen, I mean, trends in renovation and decor change all the time. And I guess you really do have to look to what the style of the home overall. But are more people asking for a certain, as we look at the board you've brought along from your trim friends?
Yeah, so I would say that we're probably leaning more towards the more contemporary looks these days, cleaner lines, and you can see that in the new builds that are out there right now.
We have less than 1 minute, and you wanted to share a cheat.
A couple of cheats. So if you put on a smaller baseboard, or you have a smaller baseboard running along, if you cheat and put this guy a couple of inches above, 1.5 inches, 2 inches above it, and paint this entire section white, it's exactly what we showed in the pictures. It looks like the baseboard is that big.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Same with the crown molding, and this is brand new, just out of Toronto. It's kind of an interesting molding, and what you do is you add it on. So as the molding gets thicker, it's more expensive. Whereas if you add this guy on, so if you look at this guy here, exactly.
All one piece, really expensive.
Very expensive.
How many, you said $6 a foot?
Yeah, $6 a foot. Whereas if you take this piece, now looking at it face on, it looks like the entire thing is the same, but it's two pieces, it's $3 at most, 2.5.
Okay, so you're looking at half the price.
Half the price.
One extra step.
One step.
But you think that's
easy,
fun.
Easy. Oh,
yeah.
Lots of fun. Make picture frames, make designs on the wall. Again, we're talking you can do a whole room for $100 worth of trim.
Perfect. We want to thank you very much. Congratulations on the big award.
Thank you
We're
so
glad you're
much.
still humble enough to join us and share all of your tips with our viewers. You are humble enough, right?
I am,
Michael?
absolutely.
I'll talk to you now.
Congratulations, Steve.